Welcome back to the Saturday Night Live after show. We're going to be breaking down the season premiere. We're back for season 45. Host Woody Harrelson, musical guest Billie Eilish. We have been waiting for this all summer. Stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, man.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us.
We're laughing because A, SNL's back, B, we're reunited, and C, we had some technical difficulties, but we are back.
We are here. We will overcome. We will persist. We are here. Thank you guys for tuning in. As Steph mentioned, we are so excited to be back after the summer. It was a long summer without these guys. I'm Amy Maestri. I'm going to be running this panel alongside...
Hey guys, I'm Steph Sabraw. Sorry, I am just really laughing. I'm having a great time right now, but Amy Maestri's not gassing herself up enough. She's our AfterBuzz comedian correspondent, our one and only. She writes sketch comedy, she performs, she's an all-around queen. Now to me, I'm Steph Sabraw. I am not a comedian. I'm a comedy connoisseur. SNL super fan. Let's go.
And don't let Steph fool you. She is a comedian. Listen to her. Listen to her right there. And also resident badass bitch,
That's
as we
true.
like to call
That's
her
true.
as well. So
That's true.
Spot on.
Me and RBG have that in common.
So tonight we are going to be breaking down sketch by sketch this whole episode with Woody Harrelson, Billie Eilish. So we're going to go through each one. We also have a really special segment that we did last season, super fun, where we break down the anatomy of a sketch. We have a bunch of cameos to talk about. We're going to hit up some news and gossip. And also, special segment with it being the premiere, we're also going to pick our top 3 political impressions.
Ooh, tough one. I mean, it's too hard to pick, but we tried.
We tried our best. I know that we're probably going to get a lot of people yelling at us no matter what 3 we choose, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. So it'll be interesting to hear yours as well. We'd love to hear them in the comments once we get there too. So start thinking about it. Homework, guys, already. Back from the summer. Sorry, I know.
Teacher Amy here.
Tough but fair. Steph, what were your overall thoughts on this episode? And also, are you a Woody Harrelson fan?
I am a Woody Harrelson fan. The one word that comes to mind with the premiere is underwhelmed. I was so excited about season 45. It's a big deal. I mean, to have this iconic show running for this many seasons is crazy, and it's always fun. I'm always going to find great moments in each episode. I just think that they haven't picked up their pace in a few years, and maybe I think they're just out of touch a little bit. Because we were even saying there wasn't a lot of marketing that the premiere was coming. I don't know if I missed it. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. But I also think that there was too many political sketches. But there was good moments, and I'm excited to talk about them.
Yeah, totally agree. You nailed it with the political sketches. I feel like I wish that they had done, I know that they did this, was it last summer or the summer before, where they did weekend update segments throughout the summer, where it was like a half-hour episode.
I think it was the summer before.
I really wish they had done that because, yeah, I felt like they were just like holding in all this political stuff for the past few months and then just like blurted it all out in this episode. But you could tell because I feel like the sketches that weren't political felt like they didn't get as much attention.
Yeah.
It was like they just kind of tossed those last minute out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, same. Big fan of Woody. It was hit or miss for me. So, and before we get into the actual breakdown of the sketches and everything, let's talk a little bit. It's the season premiere. We had some cast changes over the summer. So I know Steph has a little bit that we were going to get into later in news and gossip, but we can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait. We're getting straight into it. So I'm most excited about, as an Asian American woman, we have in 45 years, our first Asian American cast member, Bowen Yang. He was a staff writer. He originally appeared in a sketch last March with Sandra Oh, and 45 years later, we have an Asian American cast member. Thank God. And he made quite a splash, I will say, for his first episode.
He really did. I remember being so excited when I saw his name pop up. He's done so much good work, and like you said, he's been on the writing staff. I was interested. I wanted to look into more about how that came to be. If he originally auditioned and he started writing for the first year, or if he started, in more of a writer role and wanted to eventually become a cast member. But man, Bowen Yang.
I'm a fan.
All in for Bowen Yang.
I'm a fan. He is adorable. He's funny. He brings a different voice to the cast completely. And as soon as he got on the screen, it was a nice change of pace off the bat.
100%. And I gotta say too, his new counterpart, Chloe Fineman, also killer first episode.
I really like her. I'm really excited to see what the two of them do. I think that they have a different style already than the rest of the cast members. So I'm really excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Another great news, celebratory news. Our girl Heidi Gardner and our boy Chris Redd have been promoted to regular cast.
Yes.
We do have some bad news. Well, not bad news, but someone was demoted, Shane Gillis, after one day of being an SNL cast member.
Bye.
Bye, Miss American Pie.
Basically, before the season started, Lauren realized that there was some trash on the curb. And he was like, you know what? This is a new season. We can't have this.
The irony of I think it was his podcast where he went in on Asian people, and it being the first time in 45 years that we have an Asian American cast member is just, I mean, you can't write this stuff. That's comedy. I actually kind of wanted them to hit on that, but I guess I get why they didn't. But
yeah, I kind of figured they wouldn't, but same. I wish they had. And it's just, let me also be clear that, like, just being hateful isn't an excuse. You can't use jokes or comedy as an excuse to just be an asshole. If you're writing jokes that have an edgy point of view or have some sort of risque element to them, then that's something. But if you just, say like a racist thing and then end it with another racial word at the end, that's just an excuse to be an asshole.
Agreed. All this talk about kind of blacklisting all types of comedy is just BS. I think it's hard for me to say because I'm not a comedian, but I do think that there's people like Dave Chappelle who are getting away with really not PC stuff because he's not doing it in a hateful way. There's a huge distinction between the two. I know I see you in the chat, Roller Coaster Rider. You said, I think that's Beck Bennett. That was a picture of Beck Bennett because on a brighter side of news, it is Beck Bennett's birthday, so shout out to one of our leading men. We love you. Happy birthday. That wasn't Shane Gillis. That was our very own Beck Bennett. Happy, happy, happy birthday.
Yes, we definitely want to differentiate between Beck Bennett and Shane Gillis.
So and then Les Dog left for season 45, but she has a Netflix special coming out and she wants to focus on movies, so we are here for it. I personally would like to see more of her TV reviews when she live streams it. I just think she's one of the best commentators of TV around.
I just want her to be like the narrative to everything in my life.
Yeah. So kudos. I'm glad. I think that will be a great change of pace for her because she's always been a stronger stand-up comedian than sketch.
We need her voice out there.
Yeah.
It's no surprise if you watched last season. I'm not a big fan of Leslie in sketch comedy because it's kind of awkward to me. Stand-up though, 100%. Seeing her in movies, 100%. And she has such a unique and powerful voice that I want to hear outside of sketches that I felt weren't really her forte.
Agreed, sister.
Very excited for the Les Dog.
Shall we get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Woo!
Let's do it. Let's start with the cold open. Of course we knew this was going to be Trump. Again, after the summer that we're having, and my God, the past week that we've been having, what else would it be but jumping into Trump and basically just having a round robin with all of his asshole
collusionists?
Friends? Sure.
The collusioners.
The collusioners.
The collusion lubers.
You can catch it this Sunday. So with this opening, I know a lot of times with political stuff, we have the issue that it's just kind of reading headlines almost in a way. I felt like they did a really good job of keeping this moving, though.
I agree. The pace was awesome. I think that they had to do this story as the cold open. It made sense. It didn't seem forced because it is the biggest news and historically will be the biggest news. Seeing what happens or shouldn't happen, I don't know. But I thought it played to people's characters well. We got Rudy in there. We got our new cast member playing Kim Jong-un, right?
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So I thought they had really great moments. It was a little long for my liking, but they did keep it moving.
Yeah, I realized afterwards how long it was, and I was like, oh, cool, because usually the political openings that go too long, you feel it by the end of it. And I didn't feel it as much. But I liked getting to see some of the old regulars that we had of like the Downey Jr. and Eric coming back in. And then Jeanine Pirro. I love Cecily's Jeanine Pirro. It's so insane.
It's so good.
And it was just so, like, her little, like, weird ode to Trump in this was just so creepy and wonderful.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on there.
But I think they did a good job of kind of like bringing everything into it too from all different angles, even from like trying to bring in Pence as like the patsy of it all. And saying he's still waiting for what's his face to come back. And he's like, Jesus? Because I always wonder that. I'm like, what does Mike Pence actually think of Donald Trump?
I think
he can't like him.
No, I think he thinks he's an absolute buffoon. That's where people get things wrong, that Mike Pence doesn't know fair well what he's gotten into and what he's doing. He completely knows. He's a mastermind of a lot of the hateful legislation I think we've seen.
Yeah. 100%.
So, but he plays nice guy, so he goes under the radar.
He does. I think he's just a robot.
Yeah.
He's not. He's just a robot with flesh over it. And then I like the ending of just having the most random cameo of Ray Donovan, Liev Schreiber coming in, and President Trump not understanding he's a character.
He's like, "What about John Wick?" That was hilarious. Just listing all, and then when he said Liam Neeson, he's like, "Liam would probably do it." Because he totally would.
He would. Let's be real. And then so let's talk about the monologue. I know we're both fans of Woody Harrelson. It didn't land for me. What about you?
Great premise. Great premise, having a white guy talk about PC culture and say a bunch of stuff that isn't PC and does it in a charismatic way. Love it. I think it's a great premise. Absolutely zero execution. I mean, it felt like he was reading it for the first time. Yeah. And I feel so bad saying that because I do love him and he still managed to make it charismatic, but it was really sloppy.
I kind of wish they had spent more time. If they were going to do that, they did, like, the fashionista stuff at the top was fun, but then they like fully switched gears too into this, and yeah, it almost felt like an afterthought to the fashionista stuff that they did at the top. And I will say it gained steam for me. It started to get better because it got more oh wait, no, I can't say that. And they started to build levels to it.
Because those were shorter lines on the cue cards.
Yeah.
That's why you could read them. Outfit on point, though. Those PJs were awesome.
Oh, yeah. I want a pair.
I'll end on a good note.
And actually, a great note to end on, too, was the one line that actually had me laughing out loud was, "The one immigrant who is a Fox News viewer, apologies, Madam First Lady."
That was a kicker. I loved that one.
We'll keep that.
Yeah.
We'll keep that one. And then moving right along with political stuff, we have the impeachment town hall, which is hilarious because the fourth Democratic debate is coming up on October 15th. And I honestly do feel like this is going to be an impeachment town hall. It's going to be all of the candidates just like taking all of the questions and just spinning it to talk about why they need to be impeaching President Trump. But did you have any, we'll get into like the whole, the sketch as a whole. Do you have any favorite impressions first out of this?
All that matters. And let me be very clear. All that matters is Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
As Kamala Harris.
Yes.
You can't get better than that. For what we have to work with the SNL cast members and everything going on in our political space right now, that is gold.
It was, it's one of those things that you're just like, oh God, Maya's perfect for it. And then you start to hear her really get into it and feel it, like her pacing, her movements. Kamala's very like animated and like she almost talks like to a rhythm, like she has a specific cadence, and Maya just crushed it.
And then when the wind's blowing, she's like, it's just so good. It's so good.
So sassy.
So sassy. I am that girl.
The callbacks, and actually, did you see Kamala tweeted about it too? And you see, that's what politicians do when they see an impression that pokes fun at them. They laugh at it because that's what people do. Yeah, Kamala was all for Maya and her impression, and then of course we get Larry David back to do Bernie Sanders again, which again, that's one of those like he was like Bernie and him were just the same person.
They are. They're connected by some sort of parent.
some sort of parent. Yeah. I will say too, I loved his excited to be back and ruin it for a second time.
I thought Biden was hilarious as well. That was definitely Woody's strongest performance of the night. The line that had me actually hollering out loud was, I'm like a plastic straw. I've been around forever. I've worked forever. And now you're mad at me?
So good. I think they did a good job of like not only talking about how like Joe Biden's just been kind of like confused a lot of times in the debates, but also when he says something that just gets you worried because you're like, oh God, what is he gonna say? And they touched on that too, where he's like, I'm just gonna say this just to have you on the edge of your seat for the rest of it. Yeah, all around. And let's shout out again the new cast members, Bowen Yang doing Andrew Yang.
Love.
And Chloe Fineman doing Marianne Williamson, which, oh my God, her Marianne Williamson.
That was funny, going into that witch vortex.
That was really good. And man, what a great first spot for her on the show. She was so comfortable, so confident.
She was
great
really
impression.
Confident.
Loved it.
Really confident. You felt it in a way that Luke didn't catch that sort of confidence before.
Yeah, I think if someone came into this episode completely green to it, they would have no idea that she was a first time, that was her first appearance on SNL.
Agreed.
I gotta say, I feel like they did a good job in this of bringing it to the weird extremes, which sometimes they don't always do because they get caught in that like political, let's just kind of like say the news thing.
Yeah.
And I think this had that element of sketch that it's supposed to, of taking it to a really weird, bizarre place. Like the looks into camera from Maya as Kamala doing like her own like new show on TNT, all these pitches, and like the intensity of the weirdness of the patience rant that Bernie had of like, you think I'm not patient? I've once sat on a porch for 6 hours and not moving. Like, those kinds of things is what keeps it funny because it brings it to that wackadoo land.
Agreed. I think that they did a really good job of that, implementing some sketch, more like comedic lines as opposed to reading the news.
Exactly. And I'd be remiss if I didn't call out to Elizabeth Warren, Kate McKinnon's Elizabeth Warren.
It's just so good that I don't even think about it. She is Elizabeth Warren.
That's one that I would love to see. I know like Hillary came on to do Side by Side with Amy back when she did an impression of her. Like when they do the Side by Side, I would absolutely love to see Elizabeth Warren come on and talk about fighting.
We're gonna fight.
Alongside.
We're gonna fight.
And the Funt. Got to talk about the Funt. Kamala Harris, Fun Aunt, otherwise known as Funt.
Which it wouldn't even be it would be Fant or Font. Funt just takes away half the word.
Well, you're going to have to talk to Kamala about that.
I will. I'll bring it up at the next town hall meeting.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Kamala's whole bit was hilarious to me.
Yeah, I think it was great. I'd love to see her back. That's why I'm interested to see also, I mean, all across this, out of this panel, 3 of them are not cast members. Normally, I mean, we had the host doing one, we had Maya doing one, and we had Larry David, who I was assuming Larry David would come back to do Sanders.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see if Maya's going to stick around to do more Kamala and who they're going to have for Biden, because obviously Jason Sudeikis used to do Biden, which was great.
Jason Sudeikis is so good at Biden. I think he would reprise that role. It was a good opportunity for Woody.
Yeah.
But Roller Coaster Rider in the chat, what's up? He asked, why didn't Ego do Kamala? And I think it's purely it's bringing Maya back. It's a great opportunity to bring an OG and a legend back. And I think optics-wise, it just worked better for Maya as opposed to Ego.
I'd be interested to see, though, if she does have a Kamala, or if she just flat out is like, it's not... I can't really do a good Kamala.
No.
But it'll be interesting to see where, if maybe she does step in. Who knows? Maybe Maya, this was a one-time, hey, it's a season opener. Sure, that would be fun. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not. We'll see. And so we have Suns Out Nevada. Talk show. They had a show about the biggest Cheeto, and then the Cheeto exploded, and then the sketch was over.
Yeah. So before we move on to our next topic, I just want to thank you guys in the chat right now, rocking with us or listening to us. You make us the ESPN of TV Talk. We can't thank you enough. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. Leave us a comment below to keep the conversation going. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us those 5 stars. Leave us a review because we also love to talk to you there as well. Thank you guys so much. We love being able to talk about SNL each week. Here at AfterBuzz, we're also covering all of your favorite shows. Amy and I do another show together as well. I forget what the show is.
It's really good, guys. Steph, I can't expect you to do everything. You always carry us, so I will chip in on this one. It's The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh my gosh. Also on the Comedy Channel, that just went right by me. The Righteous Gemstones is an actually hilarious show on HBO. We cover it here on Sunday nights at 9 p.m., so don't miss that.
That is definitely a fun one. You may or may not see some costume changes from us in that one.
You left me hanging for like 30 seconds while I forgot the title. I did. I felt that.
I did. It was kind of, I just like watching you, Steph. Okay. I got lost in it all.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I'm
Anyways. Let's talk about Billie Eilish real quick. I know we were talking a little bit before the show. Those effects in that moving box for Bad Guy was insane.
Awesome.
I don't know why I said that like Seinfeld.
/ Bill Nye the Science Guy. They were so cool. And if you guys don't know this, she has a broken foot, which is why she had a cast on both performances. So it's awesome that they made it work. And it was the effects were so well done. It was crazy.
That's pretty badass that she's like hobbling around this like moving box with a broken foot. And I mean, I was straight up looking for it to see it moving. And it was such a smooth transition every time. And she was just so comfortable and confident in it. She was just having a great time.
Same.
I loved it.
I absolutely loved her performances. I do struggle every now and then. I go back and forth because SNL continues to bring in great artists, but are they great for SNL? I don't know. I don't know if artists like Billie Eilish really fit SNL because you're going on this comedic pace and then all of a sudden you're dropping into this very sultry, low alternative type of music. So it does drop the mood a bit and it's hard to get back up. But with that being said, she is such an incredible artist. She's like Halsey, where I have to check myself and be like, is she actually singing? This is her live voice. That's incredible. And it was. Yeah. You can tell it was.
Yeah.
So she's amazing. She's only 17 years old. I love her style. I love her personality. She doesn't care what anyone thinks about her, and she just does her thing.
That's what I love. She just goes for it, and she's like, I don't care.
Yeah. She made a post a few days ago, and it was like, it quoted everyone who was like, you would be so pretty hot if you dressed better, and she kept her outfit, and she's like, I look good this way.
I love it.
And she does.
She does.
She's swaggy as hell.
And I really love that whenever someone performs on SNL, like, it's such a big honor. And it's such a cool thing. And someone who's even 17 who, like, I mean,
you could see that she
was so excited.
So excited. And I love that the younger generation understands that. And she was performing with her brother, which is even greater, too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So thanks, Billy. Love your hair. I'm doing green on my tips next.
Yeah. All right. Weekend update. I do transitions well.
You know how to pivot, baby.
I can pivot all day. My gosh, the first 3 minutes of Weekend Update were pure fire.
Fire. You could tell they had just been like ready all summer.
Oh my God. And that's why it kills me that they didn't do that weekly update installment for the summer. I mean, I get it. The SNL schedule is grueling.
I know, and they need a break.
So they need that break. But also, we're selfish.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Pete's out here getting 15 different girlfriends. I think we can make some time for a weekend update.
Come on. Also, wait, where was Pete in this episode?
With his girlfriend.
That makes sense.
Which I'll get to in our news and gossip.
Yeah.
But
Literally every joke about impeachment in the first 3 minutes was amazing. The John Wilkes Booth joke was savage. Savage. But I think my favorite, because also, let's talk about this little tweet. It's not only that they called out the apostrophe, not a hyphen. He also spells describing wrong. And then also, even if the apostrophe was there, it's still not proper. It still doesn't make sense for the apostrophe.
The mind of that man.
But man, their joke that sealed it, the clincher of sorry to be a grammar Nazi. I know you hate one of those things.
So, like, mic drop. That was so good.
They could have ended the episode there.
They could have. I will say, other than the impeachment jokes, my favorite one that made me spit out water was when he said, keep in mind that the CEO of Juul is just a can of Four Loko with a sex addiction.
So good. I wrote that one down too.
Because that is so true. Like, I just see the big, like, basically the Kool-Aid man in humanized version just creating Juul.
It's so ridiculous. I love it. The imagery
was amazing.
I think for non-political, I just enjoyed the one talking about the new airport that can support like 72 million flyers. And they said, not to be outdone, Newark put a coaster under the corner so it doesn't topple over. Fair. Yeah, I mean, I think they just, again, they like packed it full with political stuff. And then they were like, oh, here's a couple other jokes, I guess. We'll do something else. And then they only had the one guest, which I found a little strange. I thought that they were going to do more jokes because, you know, sometimes they do have a more joke-heavy update and they have less guests, but it just seemed short overall. And it was Kenan coming back to do Big Papi because over the summer he was shot down in the Dominican Republic. Is that where he was? We're going to go with that.
Papi?
Yeah. And then Kenan does an impression.
I do actually like Kenan Thompson, but
I didn't understand. I understood why. Like, it's relevant because of what happened to him over the summer. But literally, it's just him doing, like, weird ads for things. And honestly, all it makes me want is the porn stars who aren't porn stars anymore to come back and do their commercials for things that aren't real.
Yeah, I think this is one of his better impressions, for sure. I think he actually does an impression when he does this character. I just don't think it's as relevant of a character as they can do. And that's what I mean when I say that SNL's a little bit out of touch, because I think that they're not reaching the younger generation in a way that they could totally capitalize on. There are so many Heidi does a funny YouTuber one, but they could be actually imitating really, really popular YouTubers with million subscribers and hitting just a different demographic, and in a really funny way because they are ridiculous.
Yeah,
as opposed to a baseball player that I know he's a legend, but who watches baseball?
And also, he's a retired baseball player. 90%
of America, but still, I don't.
He's also a retired baseball player that they try to just keep making relevant. And actually, Kenan has that other one, the LeVar Ball. It's the same thing where it's like, I feel like they don't have an excuse to make it relevant, so they try and it feels forced when, yeah, there's so much going on right now. Even if they didn't want to do politics, because I know that there is a lot of politics already going on in the episode, but still, there's a lot happening in our country right now. So even if they came on and did a political character here, or yeah, like you said, something like the Instagram couple that Mikey and Heidi do, just anything different. Or even, I mean, recently the Emmys were just on and everyone hated the Emmys this year. So, like, there's a lot of pop culture stuff to be making fun of right now as well.
Yeah, the In Memoriam that missed a bunch of people, but they did call... Wait, that was a different show I watched. Sorry. The In Memoriam, which would be a funny thing to cover, they mixed up someone's picture for someone who wasn't dead.
Yeah.
it was on Jimmy Kimmel's show. They called the actual person who is alive and well.
Yeah, see,
but there was things like that.
Yeah, I feel like it was a missed opportunity to only have the one guest, first of all, and to have one that like didn't really make sense for why you're having it, especially in a season opener. Like Weekend Update, you want to see it, especially to a cameo would have been nice. I always love a good cameo in a season opener, but even if not, just something more relevant.
Me too.
So then we jumped into this locker room sketch where his dick makes a funny noise.
The Donald Duck dick is what I called it.
Yes. Loved Heidi's Trinity. She's a real mess. I kind of want to know more about her. But it seemed like, again, just a throwaway sketch of like, I don't know, let's have this football coach try to make an epic speech, but then his wife comes in and is like, hey, your dick does a funny thing.
Yeah, Roller Coaster Writer tweeted me and said that he thought this would be the anatomy of a sketch. I'm curious what you liked or didn't like about it. So write that in our live chat right now because it felt really, really flat for me. The funny part, I think, was the follow-up questions by the team.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah, and I think, I'm interested to see what you say right now, Roller Coaster Rider, because I do see how, because structurally there are very specific beats to it. Like literally Heidi comes and goes 3 times. So it's very clear structurally what they're doing. And it is very much a premise sketch too, on top of everything, of saying like, here's this normal coach, let's throw the curveball in and see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, the performance from Heidi and the questions from the football team, I think, were the 2 things that still made me enjoy it, even though I didn't like the sketch as a whole.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of anatomy of a sketch, we're going to save the next one for last, because I will be doing the Inside the Beltway sketch for the anatomy breakdown.
Hilarious.
It was hilarious. Downton digital short. God, I always love their digital shorts. The thing is that even if they don't make you laugh the most, if it's not the funniest thing in the episode, they're so well produced, so well done. And I feel like this one kind of nailed what they wanted to do. What were your thoughts on it?
I don't watch Downton Abbey, but this kind of summed up exactly what I thought the show would be. And I think that they hit on really hilarious points, that it's a low, like there's not a lot of, I don't know what the word is. My mind is just everywhere tonight. Where there's not a big deal. They make everything a big deal that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I thought the one really funny line was when they were like, feels like I'm watching a sunset on white people as a whole.
That one cracked me up.
Because that's what I think about when I think of the show. So I agree. Really well produced, well written. It was great performances. I enjoyed this one.
I particularly also loved the quote on the screen. I loved this movie. All moms. Because I literally just talked to my mom the other day and she was like, I'm going to see Downton with my girlfriends.
Is it
a movie?
Brianna in the booth here too? And my mom also just told me today that she's like, I really need to go see Downton Abbey.
All moms. We need to get all 3 of our moms together
See
this movie.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it was all great. The sequence of words at the end where they're just like, potato, blimey. Just all put together so quickly. And it was a good length. It was nice and short, got its point across, did its job. I really enjoyed it. You know what? I'm going to let you take this next one away because it's your boy. It's your boy, Kyle Mooney, rapping about dad.
Dad! Hello, Dad! I love this sketch. I don't care what anyone says. And I saw in a few articles it was one of the lowest ranked sketch. I don't care. You haters can go to hell. It was so funny and fun. It kind of reminded me of the I forget who. It was Tina Fey when she was the mom, and it was a sketch a few years ago where she's like, "My mom's the coolest." She played the mom in it, so it's kind of it felt like an ode to that sketch, which is one of my favorite sketches. That's actually how I feel about my mom. I'm like overly obsessed with her. So this one was a really funny take on that. I don't know when it was the 80s when they used those types of phones, and that
I feel
kind
like
of
80s, early 90s.
Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets white corporate family. It was hilarious. I thought that Kyle was really funny, and I just want to see him doing more of this. I think he shines in the digital sketches, the digital shorts.
Totally, and him and Chris were great together. Like, Chris's commitment to his character, too, paired alongside Kyle, and, like, that weird brand that, like, him and Beck kind of brought to the show in a lot of their digital shorts that they did together. together. And Kyle's in this is just, it's perfect. And I got to say, I've been watching a lot of old school Beverly Hills 90210 recently.
No way.
This really hit home for me. Really
Roller
was.
Coaster Rider said, I guess I can go to hell then. Oh, Nasim Pedrad, thank you. That was totally her character with Tina Fey as the mom.
Oh, what was her name?
I forget.
I know, yeah.
She has a sleepover. And
Yeah.
So the haters don't need to go to hell. I would just prefer if you started liking Kyle Mooney. That's it.
That was a nice way to circle
I
back
retract.
there. She really doesn't.
I don't.
Last sketch of the night. Let's talk about the apple farm. I just like watching Kate and Aidy do things together.
Me too. The joke didn't hit that hard for me because I don't go apple picking. I know that there is some sort of joke about how expensive apple picking is and the prestige of it all, but them two together can do whatever they want, and it's enjoyable to me. It wasn't great, but it's enjoyable.
And I feel like those are good end of night sketches too, because it's just like their chemistry and their weirdness.
Yeah.
Like you're never really sure why they're doing the sketch or like what the point of it is, but it just gets to the point of mayhem where you're like, I'm in it. I'm good with it. And it all comes down to their chemistry at the end.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So covered all the sketches. Let's get into our special segment, which is the anatomy of a sketch. So for anyone who has not seen this before, basically just break down a sketch, kind of talk about the structure of it, and what we liked or didn't like about it. This time I'm going to do the Inside the Beltway sketch. Of course, this is the one where 80s stylist came out towards the end when she was still on screen, and 80 just lost it. Props to 80 for getting through the end of that line, for being able to get through it, because she was just, you could see the tears in her eyes and she was just starting to lose it. But overall, I thought this sketch was interesting because I really liked the premise. I like this idea of because it's happening. All of us are saying, oh, this is it. This is the moment. He's getting impeached. There's no way he's going to get past this. And there's always one person or just something deep inside you going, nope, never going to happen. So Keenan's character coming in and being that kind of inner voice, or that person who's always just saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He can do anything. And the thing is, though, is that this has been done a lot before, and I feel like it's been done in better ways. I didn't like the vehicle of it being in a news show, because I feel like this had a lot of political stuff already going. So to have it be in that setup where it's very professional and in a news setting, I really wish it was friends sitting at a bar talking, or at a dinner party. And there's that one person where they can kind of escalate why they're saying, or those examples, because they have so many great examples to pull from for the past few years of like least crazy to just like bananas crazy. So I feel like if they had put this in a different setting and kind of made it more clear to that path of escalation rather than the back and forth, because also proved to be too much with costume changes because they were doing all this time jumping for no reason. Just have it be a bunch of friends sitting around talking and doing the escalation, and that person always saying it's not going to happen. We were both saying before the show, it kind of reminded us each of that election night sketch where, because it just felt so real to us of like what's happening. I just didn't love the execution of it, but 80, oh my gosh, you are our queen. You are our queen.
Her 80 breaking is such a moment in history for me because it made the sketch funnier.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen, but it did happen. And like you said, I think the sketch had a great premise. It could have been done in a better place. Also, the clothing changes didn't even make sense. Like, pre-record it if you're going to do that. Or, like you said, do it in a bar. The election night sketch Amy's talking about, if you guys didn't know, was the Dave Chappelle sketch from the first week that they came back after the election. But, yeah, I agree. And Kenan, to me, there is always that friend that is saying he's going to get reelected. It usually tends to be like in the Dave Chappelle sketch, Black America, and people of color who kind of like, we've seen this since the beginning of time. Trust us, he's gonna get reelected. There's way more racist people than you think.
Us white people are like, no, there can't be racism.
Yeah.
It's 2019.
What are you talking about? We've really moved forward.
We've beaten all the racists. It's fine.
But You were saying about her Amy 80s IG story though, right? Or she did a little tribute.
Yeah, so wanted to shout out 80 for shouting out her dresser, so the woman on screen who came in has been her dresser on SNL for the past 7 seasons. And so she did like a cute little post after just saying how much she loves her and how the crew really makes everything happen there, and posted a bunch of pictures of her behind the scenes with her, because it really is true. When you think about everything that goes into a live show with this many costume changes, this many set changes, and especially in a sketch like this where they're just forcing this poor woman to run out on stage 15 times for no reason to change their costumes.
I mean, it is so funny.
Huge props, and I love that 80 shouted her out on that too.
So funny.
So that is our wrap-up of the episode. Also shouting out Woody Harrelson for rocking the Greta t-shirt at the end and name-dropping her as well.
Amazing. I want that shirt.
Really love that. But let's jump into our top 3.
Yes.
We chose to do political impressions. I know it's impossible.
We're
impossible.
talking all the time here. So we like to do a thing at AfterBuzz where we rank a top 3 in some fashion. And like Amy was saying, we're doing our top 3 on the best political characters. So this was impossible. Did we miss people? Probably, but we gave it a go. Number 3 is a tie between 2 insane performances of H-Dog, Hillary Clinton, played by both Amy Poehler and Kate McKinnon. We could not choose because we have the OG versus the new G, and they're both incredible, and we can't pick, so don't make us. Number 2, we had George W. Bush, played by the one and only Will Ferrell, one of the most iconic characters ever. I hope he comes back. I want him to come back every season.
Why not?
And number 1, this has to be number 1. She's won awards for this. Is Sarah Palin, played by the one and only Tina Fey. You can't get better than this.
You really can't.
That one I'm sure of. The rest, it's so hard to pick. But number 1, that's it.
There's so many, and that's the thing. This list could go on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, Tina doing Sarah Palin was just perfection.
It's perfection.
Oh, man. So yeah, actually, really interested to hear from you guys, too. So definitely post in the comments. Let us know if you had to pick a top 3. Dare you guys. It's tough. Wait till you do it. Definitely hit us up. Let us know what you think. Really quick, let's jump into some news and gossip, though, Steph.
All right. I'll hit this quickly. I want to give some updates. Some of them aren't the newest, but we have been separated from our cast for a while now, so I wanted to highlight the main things going on. Kate McKinnon, back a few months ago, was cast as Elizabeth Holmes in the Hulu limited series, The Dropout, so that's pretty awesome. I can't wait to see her playing that sort of role. And bigger news for Kate McKinnon is that in August, she met the one and only Ruth Bader Ginsburg in real life at a play that they were seeing. I mean,
praise be.
There's a picture that you guys will see, and it was such a special moment. I wish I was there. They were seeing Fiddler on the Roof. I know that our producer Brianna will probably know what that play is. I don't know what it is. And on to other news, Pete Davidson, as I teased before, and his many relationships, he's on to the next. He broke, there was a mutual breakup between him and Kate Beckinsale, and now he is with Emmy-nominated actress Margaret Qualley. You might have seen her in Quentin Tarantino's latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was amazing in there. They were just out of the country together, but the relationship has been co-signed by Qualley's mom, so I guess we're rolling with it if the mom approves. And yeah, that was basically it, you guys. Those are the main points, but there's a lot of fun, exciting things going on with the cast, and we'll make sure to touch on those each week in news and gossip.
Definitely. With such a big cast, there's always going to be some fun stuff happening, so we'll hit on that every week. Next week, so excited for this episode. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she just cleaned up at the Emmys for Fleabag. I'm obsessed with Fleabag. I'm so excited to see her host this show. And musical guest Taylor Swift. I'm excited to see which songs she does and how many people she brings in. I feel like she's got to do...
She'll bring in whoever she needs, whatever community she needs to pander to. And that's
And that
just
will be
the
all of
tea.
them.
But you've given me an assignment to watch
Yes.
Fleabag, which I've heard from many people that it's amazing, and I'm going to do my homework and watch it before she hosts SNL next week. I can't wait to see her.
Yes, homework assignment to everyone. Remember, I'm tough but fair. Steph, where can we find you on social in the meantime?
Sorry for all of my my mistakes tonight, but you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw. I'll continue drinking my coffee and wake back up.
And don't believe her. I've been throwing her off all night. When you don't see me off camera, I'm just throwing shit at her the whole time. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Amy Maestri. We will see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye!
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.